Hey, this is Reverend Joanna Bartlett, and I thought I'd make a video today about why death anniversaries feel so hard. And the reason I'm doing this today is because today is the anniversary of my mom's death. She died 8 years ago today on the summer solstice. At the moment of the summer solstice is actually when she took her last breaths, because she had impeccable timing, I think, and was very connected to the natural world. And I woke up this morning and felt different, felt heavier. And I have completed the pain around my relationship with my mom, around, our relationship together while she was alive, and around the things that have been hard around her death through the grief recovery method, which is, I actually became certified as a grief recovery specialist to help other people do this work as well. And so I've completed that pain in many ways. And so the stuff that felt unfinished and unresolved, I've resolved it, which feels really, really good. And I feel like we have a much closer relationship, a loving relationship. When I think of my mom, I thought of her this morning, and I feel her love. And it's a really beautiful and wonderful thing. And I know she's here. My belief, I'm a spiritualist and I'm a certified medium. And so I know how to connect with people who are in spirit. And I do that, I'm not actively doing readings at the moment, but I've done that for years, helping other people connect in with their loved ones in spirit. And so that's my personal belief, is that we continue on, our personality, who we are, continues on after physical death. And so I believe and I feel my mom here with me. And even if that wasn't my belief, that love connection, that heart connection, those things that she taught me that we shared together, those are still real. Those are still part of my memories, and that energy still continues on regardless. And so even though I know that my mom is still with me and loves me, and that we've cleared up all the weird stuff in our relationship, the weird relationship dynamics that didn't work. I've forgiven her for all the things that I legitimately needed to forgive her for. And I've apologized for the things that were mine to apologize for. And I've said what I've needed to communicate. And as new stuff comes up, I have tools to continue to release that and let go of it so I don't hold on to it. And still this morning, I woke up feeling, ooh, weird, sad. There've been years over the last, this is the seventh anniversary, I suppose, because the first, the first time is when she died. But and some years have been really hard. Some years have been a lot of tears, and some years, not so much. I've never forgotten it. It's like my body remembers. It's like some part of my mind and my body remembers. I've been having a lot of dreams about her recently and feeling her close, and I know that's pretty common for people leading up to the anniversary of a loved one's death. And we know, some part of us just knows that it's coming up, that week before, that month before, something like that. We just know that this anniversary is happening. And so I thought I would do this video about why these death anniversaries can feel so hard. And I don't know exactly why, honestly. I'm still kind of exploring it myself, because, like I said, I've done my personal work, my healing work around my relationship with my mom. And so in many ways, it feels really clear and good. And I feel lots of love between us now, whereas before I felt a lot of conflicting and complicated feelings. And yet still, there's that sadness. So one of my theories, I have some working theories, I suppose. I don't know exactly why. But a working theory is that that day kind of connects us through time to the feelings and the emotions that we had when it occurred, and with the things that still felt really painful and incomplete and just the pain of the ending, of the physical ending of that relationship, and anything that was going on, around that. And we all have our own unique relationships with our loved ones who have died. And comparing them isn't really very helpful, because our relationships are really unique, and so the circumstances around that death will also be very unique. Well, just unique, right? And my mom died of cancer. She was diagnosed, she had liver cancer that had metastasized into her lungs, and she died 3 weeks after she was diagnosed. And so it was sudden and unexpected. And then so all those feelings around it, like, oh, what if we'd known sooner? You know, how was she in a lot of pain? Did we help her enough? Did we, all those things that come up. And the anniversary feels like it's like this almost this direct line back to that period of time, that moment in time when that happened, that thing happened, and we still had all those feelings. Because feelings and emotions and memories are this remarkable thing that, I mean, personally, I don't think time really exists, linear time as we experience it. I don't think it really exists. But memories and time are remarkable in the sense that some memories, when you go into them, it's like you are reliving them as it happened. Like it's still so potent, just as potent and real and vivid as, you know, when it happened. We don't lose the emotional intensity. And so that's one of the reasons I think the anniversaries of loved ones' deaths can feel so hard and so weird, because there's still that emotional intensity. And still this, you know, even if you are, you know, over or have moved on from or generally healed from the death of a loved one, oh, it still brings stuff up. I still miss my mom. I'm always going to miss my mom. And that to me was when I realized that I was going to miss her for the rest of my life. That was probably one of the hardest moments in my grief. And it was fairly early on after she had died that I realized I was going to miss her forever, for the rest of my life. I was going to, you know, notice her absence in my life. And yeah, and in many ways I'm at peace with that, I suppose. I recognize it. I know that it's real. And it is, you know, it is what it is, and I can't change it at this point. And I'm, you know, I no longer have that emotional energy inside myself where I would be trying to change it, trying to make it a different outcome. So what can you do for yourself on the anniversary of your loved one's passing? You know, you can't change it, right? And it is what it is in many ways. And so what I'm doing today is I am being kind to myself. I spent a little time journaling this morning about some other things going on in my life I have emotions and feelings about, and also to recognize this. I talked to my husband about it. Yesterday is the day before, well, June 20th is our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, which the year that we got married, which is now 7 years ago, was also on the summer solstice. Fortunately, it was a different day than the day my mom died. So I have this interesting juxtaposition of this June 20th happy day, wedding anniversary, June 21st, you know, difficult, sad day because it's the anniversary of my mom's death. So I talked to him about that, and we talked, you know, just a little bit about that, about feelings. So sharing with others, not isolating yourself, right? Being with the feelings that you have, knowing that you're going to feel kind of weird and uncomfortable. I am using one of the things that the Grief Recovery Institute calls a short-term energy relieving behavior, which in my case is food. This is a delicious gluten-free chocolate chip cookie that actually somebody in my last grief recovery group made for our last meeting and brought. So I'm enjoying some chocolate chip cookie, food, comfortingness, and I know I'm doing it. And I'm kind of okay with that today. I recognize what it is that I'm doing. I recognize that I'm tender. Hopefully I'll spend a little bit of time in nature later today, going for a walk, being able to be in my discomfort. Because you can't make the discomfort go away. You can't make the sadness go away. We're supposed to feel feelings, and I think in this society, sometimes we get kind of caught up in this idea that we should feel happy all the time. And if we're not blissfully happy all of the time, living our bliss, then we're doing something wrong. We're thinking wrong. We're putting wrong energy out there. We're, something or the other, like it's our fault if we're not totally blissful all the time. I happen to believe that we're not supposed to be happy, blissfully happy all of the time, every moment of our lives. I think we can live with gratitude and a kind of a general sense of joy and gratefulness and feeling good about our lives much of the time. And there's going to be things that make you feel sad, the things that are hard. They just are. I mean, I don't know that there's any getting around that. And I think that is part of our human experience and why we're here, honestly. I think we're here to have a whole rich, huge, you know, human experience. Sometimes that experience does feel a little bit more, a bit too human, a bit too much at times. Um, so yeah, so how do you take care of yourself? How do you, I think acknowledging it, acknowledging that this, it's not, ignoring it, pretending that it's not happening is not going to make it go away. And I've learned that also, like around my mom's birthday. There have been times that I've tried to do other things. I've started a class, or I have had a book launch, or things like that. I'm thinking, oh, it'll be a great way to like kind of celebrate or refocus the day, and it doesn't work. It's just kind of a terrible day if I try to not acknowledge it. And so for my mom's birthday, I go and get fancy pastries for dessert from a local patisserie, because my mom was French, and so, you know, I figure we celebrate her with good food, and that works. And but for the anniversary of her passing, my brother and I exchange emails. He sent me an email today that I got this morning, just sending me big kisses just to acknowledge it. A friend of my mom's on Facebook posted something on my wall, and that's just, it's sweet, it's meaningful to me, you know, that other people share this memory, this remembrance. Oh, there's a saying that one of my grief recovery clients shared with me that was, because there's lots of myths that we learn to believe about grief, about how we should deal with it, like, you know, grieving alone and being strong for others, keeping busy, giving it time, that kind of thing. And she had a new one, which I love, and that's shared joy is doubled joy, and shared sorrow is half the sorrow. And so sharing that grief with others, it's not bringing people down. It's not being a downer. It's being real, and it's being honest, and it's saying, you know, today's a hard day for me. You know, will you hold me in your heart? Will you send your love, your prayers, your energy, whatever it is that works for you and your belief system, and let other people know that that's what's going on? Because I do believe that shared energy, that love, I mean, I feel my mom's love from spirit, and I know that, you know, you can feel my love and caring for you, and if you send that back to me, I feel that from you as well, and it lifts us all up. So rather than being a downer and bringing other people down, ends up actually lifting us all up. So those are a few of my rambly suggestions. First, about why death anniversaries feel so hard. I mean, it seems kind of natural and normal that they do, right? It brings stuff up. It brings up memories of when that person died, of what feels incomplete, the things that we wish we had said, or had said differently, or hadn't said at all, or done or not done. It brings up all those things, all those pains, the ways that we wish the relationship had been different, that we had been different in the relationship, and can no longer do or fix those things because the person has died. And it connects us to that time, that day, you know, when they died, and everything that still feels incomplete as a result. So it's understandable and natural that that day, the anniversary of the day that your loved one died, is going to be a difficult day for you. You're going to have feelings. And again, you're supposed to have feelings. You are human. It's okay to share them. It's okay to be real. It's okay to tear up while doing a Facebook Live, hopefully. My British upbringing tells me you don't do these things, but you know what? I'm doing things differently now because I'm finding the things that work for me. And that's okay. It's part of being human, and we are all here for each other. So I will leave that with you. Hope it's been helpful. I'll see you in the next video.